Good evening and welcome to the show that the weather couldn't spoil tonight. It's soccer night here on NTV. How you doing? We've got so much football to talk about, so much football to get through, so I'm not going to say too much except to say to you we have two games to show you tonight. One is going to be a cracker between Illtown and Sire, which was a preliminary round game, but the first game we're going to show you was another important game, which was Stepney v London Tigers. Let me say no more. It's the game everyone was looking forward to. Here are the highlights for you to see. This is the highlights of Stepney v London Tigers played yesterday. Sit back and enjoy. An all-action game. Looked like a physical encounter as well, but in the end, one goal is all that's needed to settle a game, and that goal was scored by Stepney. A great game. The man in the middle that day was Cameras. So, having the best seat in the ground. What was the game like?
It was definitely an El Clasico, David. Clash of the Titans, name it what you like, but I think it was the game of the season so far. It was great to watch, it was great to officiate, and I think both teams played in great spirit as well. Although Tigers had the upper hand with, I would say, about 60% possession, Stepney hung on there with a very tight team, and they won they nicked that odd goal and won by the odd chance.
So on another day, could have been Tigers.
It could have been Tigers, but having said that, I think the Tigers defenders were a bit too relaxed, and Stepney, as you saw, they had numerous chances, and the score, if both sides finished all the chances, would have been something like 5-6-2 to Stepney, to be honest. But having said that, Tigers are Tigers, they're great, and the way they finished the game and just walked off the field with a defeat, I've got to say, you've got to give them a lot of respect. They didn't sit there, they didn't argue, they didn't moan and groan. They just were professional, walked off the field, and I'm sure they're going to bounce back next week and take it, from a new start, new game next week, really.
It's not often that Tigers get beat, and like you said, gracious in defeat, but Stepney do what they have to do. They are the champions, and as champions, they've beaten all comers and are moving steadily up the table. There was only one other result that happened in the Premier Division. We can take a look at that one, and that was a 4-3 victory to Cannon. Cannon may be surprising one or two people. They remain unbeaten. They're yet to play Tigers and Stepney, but they're sitting second in the table, I believe. Rash, full stone, or the table doesn't lie?
Well, to be honest, right from the beginning of the season, we did mention about Cannon with a new team, a lot of new players, and I think he's trying to prove a point that he's ready for Premiership. So it's good to see he's mixing with the big boys, but again, in the next few weeks, we'll see exactly how strong they are. Can they maintain their strength? Beating Bromley was a really good win, because Bromley had a good squad. To beat them, I think Cannon had to be in the best, so we'll wait and see in the next few weeks how they perform, and we'll see if they can actually challenge for the title.
Two good wins in the Premier Division. There were only 2 games in the Premier because teams were involved in other things elsewhere. There was a lot going on. We also had the preliminary rounds of the Cup happening. Tell me a little bit about that, Rash, and just remind everybody again about that. I wasn't here, obviously, for the last couple of weeks, so remind me what's going on.
We had the draw. The bottom 5 of the Premiership and the bottom 7 of the Division 1 which went to a draw, and as you can see, they were played last week, and funnily enough, all the Premiership actually played the Division 1, and you can see the results.
Here are the results indeed for the preliminary round of the League Cup. Let me just throw those out there for you. I know some of you have been sitting back and waiting to see this. Brick Lane beat Bow by 5-2. Ireland and Burdett played out a 7-goal thriller, which was 4-3 in Ireland's favour. Beaumont beat Stepney B by 10-2. Wow, an absolute battering there for Stepney B. And Newark beat Weavers by 4-2. You can see the result there between Illtown and Sire, which was a 2-2 draw, at which Sire won 5-3 on penalties. We're going to see the highlights of that in a short while. But first, let me not leave our third guest unnoticed on the side here. Fakhuluddin's in the building. How are you doing, sir?
Fine, thank you, David.
Good to have you here again. I just kind of wanted to run through all the teams that have won there because, as always, winning teams, get yourself down to this man's place and he'll look after you, I'm sure, in a favourable way. How is everything going for Meshri at the moment?
Everything's very good at the moment. Just for people who don't know, it's Meshri in Bethnal Green. It's a Lebanese restaurant, charcoal grill. We were here with you last year, so
you were indeed.
It's nice to be back
Very
this season as well.
glad to have you back as well.
So it's just a reminder for all the teams. What we did last year, we're going to be doing the similar stuff. So it'll be 10% discount for all ILFL members, and the winning team will get the additional 10%. So they'll get 20% off. So when do they play on Saturday? Sundays. So for that week, up until the next game, the following Sunday, they'll get the additional 10%. So winning team gets 20%, everybody else gets 10% off.
Fantastic. I want to be part of the winning team because I need some of that food. Hint, hint, empty tables in the studio. The preliminary round of the League Cup, like we said, happened last week. Those teams that have won now go through, and they will now play the remaining teams that were left in the Premier Division, and they will battle it out. When will that be then?
The date's not fixed yet, but we'll let all the teams know as soon as that's confirmed.
Okay, no surprises really in the prelim then?
No, there isn't. I think Iltan did very well taking side to the wire, really. So, other than that, I think it was as expected, really, because obviously the Premiership teams, they're there for a reason.
It just kind of panned out that way, that Prem played first, didn't it?
Yeah, well, there was one first v first game which obviously was postponed because one of the teams is taking part in the London Cup, so that will be played again. So we'll have a first division team in the next round.
In the next round. And the next round draw, as you just heard from Rush, will take place very soon in the coming weeks, and we'll get the fixture date for those to come as well. More football was played last week than there was just on the Sunday. We also had the Vets tournament that started last week. There are some names there that I know nothing about. So we're going to be talking about that in the next part of the show. We'll also be looking at the footage from Iltan v Sire, plus loads more. So stick around. We'll be back after this short break.
You are watching ILFL Soccer Nights.
Sponsored by Mashuri এবং Hawk and Eagle.